Welcome to Digital Asset News. Take the top stories in cryptocurrency and digital assets and break them down to bite-sized pieces. Today, we got a lot of information to go over, and it is a smorgasbord of a variety of great topics. So first up, Ethereum Whales still on the rise despite immense price dip. And when I start to look at the market, I want to know what smart money is doing, and this is a fantastic indicator. Also, looking towards the traditional market, UK digital bank ZIGLU launches peer-to-peer payments for Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. And if this doesn't make the traditional banks sit up and take notice, nothing will. Also, analyst Dave the Wave says Bitcoin facing one last test ahead of rise to 120,000. And I'm not real big on Bitcoin predictions, but what he says in here really got me excited. And finally, I almost feel guilty talking about this subject, but Binance joins the DeFi craze, unveils new platform for yield farming. The reason I feel guilty is because people have been losing their shirts on DeFi and also making a lot of money for the ones who get in early. This one will probably be enormous, and I'm very weary of the whole DeFi craze, but this is the news that's out there, so I leave it to you. Finally, we'll go over a Q of the day, which happens to be a topic which talks about death and digital assets. And we'll go over there at the very last part, but first let's jump into the market. So today, it is September 8th, it's around 12:30, almost high noon Texas time, and looks like a little bit more of a red day, and not surprising. So Bitcoin down 13% for the week, 0.5% in one day, but it's still above 10K, so I'm pretty happy. Ethereum dropped a little bit. I thought it would drop down to like the 290s, and here we are, 341. Tether's Tether, XRP is XRP. Woo, XRP down 23 cents. Watch out. Chainlink 1.6%, just around $12. So I'm pretty happy it didn't drop down to 9, which I thought I was going to do, but it didn't at all. Bitcoin Cash in that 6th spot. Remember, there is a potential that's going to happen. It's a Bitcoin fork that's going to happen on November. I want to say November 10th or 15th. We had Roger Ver on yesterday. He explained the whole thing, so check out that video. Polkadot down 2% to 435. Maybe you can go below 4 and we can pick up some peak Polkadot, huh? Binance Coin, SV, don't know why it's there. Litecoin down 10th spot, 0.5. So let's see what's up. Tron, congratulations all Tron holders. I don't hold Tron, but if you did, congratulations. That is a tough hold, so good for you. What else we got? Monero up 1.8, Cosmos 4%, fantastic. 9% for UMA. I gotta tell you, I got that one wrong. That one seems to be the one that is just booing up, and hopefully you can maintain that. 26% for the week though, ouchie. VeChain down 28%, 0.2. What are you gonna do? Aave, someone told me how to say that. Aave, 4.3%, so that's not too bad. And Yearn Finance, sticking around that 20,000 mark, so nothing too fantastic. Let's see what's going on with my favorite topic, sushi. 255, down 10% for the day. I did not expect that to go up, but hey, it seems like I'm wrong on DeFi. I don't know what's going to happen with sushi, but when you got the master chef who pretty much just does an exit scam and it still goes up, that's just the wackiness of crypto. Let's just break into today's top story. So first up, Ethereum Whales on the rise. I got to tell you, I love these types of articles because it reaffirms what I believe, and that is that Ethereum is going to be massive. It's a $10,000 coin. It just needs a little bit more time and a little bit more laying of the infrastructure, and hopefully ETH 2.0 can get here to reach that goal. And it's not just me looking at that, it's a bunch of whales. So what's going on here? Updated statistics from Santiment, which is an on-chain social analytic cryptocurrency site, confirms that ETH whales are pumping into the crypto market like never before. The dip in ETH prices have surprisingly not disrupted the number of whales that have now doubled over the last few days. If you don't know Santiment, you can sign up for a like a premium account. I got a free account, and they send you like some really good data, some analytics, and one of those talked about whales. And this was the PDF that they sent out. It was fascinating because this is like just last week. We did a whole video on this one, but just to give you the highlights, it talks about how whales dominate, not just in the mining sector, but whales dominate for Bitcoin and altcoins together, and they lay it all out as far as data and analytics. So 85% of the total supply of Bitcoin is found in addresses owning more than 10 Bitcoin, 113,500 at current prices. So I don't know if you're one of those whales, but congratulations to you if you are. 61% of Bitcoin's total supply is in the hands of Bitcoin millionaires, which is people who own 100 or more Bitcoin. Wow. And then top altcoins are no different. 80% of ETH is held by addresses with more than 1,000 ETH in its possession. Chainlink is the worst one at 94, well, almost the worst one, 94.6% held by addresses with more than 10,000 link. And XRP is number one spot, 95.4%, held by addresses with more than 10 million XRP, or 2.6 million at current prices. So if you're going to talk about whales and how your project is decentralized, think again. What else we got? So two more things. Bitcoin whale holdings have declined, which is a positive effect, by a similar margin during this time. They're talking about 2015, 2020. And supply owned by addresses with less than 10 Bitcoin has grown from 6% to 14% since August 2015. And that's good news. And I've always thought that whales will come and go, but they will dissipate because whales will eventually have to sell, and they'll go into hands like me and you, and we have strong hands, and we will hold on to that until our price point gets actually taken. So that's why it's good that you're here on the channel and you're learning about just having a strong hand, holding it, being an investor, not a crazy trader with 100x leverage or something crazy like that. If you're into that, hey, cool, whatever. But I'm just telling you right now, I'm just an investor, and maybe you are as well. And then lastly, this is what it all comes down to. They had a strategy that they tried to do, and their strategy was based on whales and how they would try to defeat them. So their strategy was fetch all addresses holding 100 plus Bitcoin, review their trend over the last 35 days, and then if there's an upward trend, get out of there. Accumulation, downward trend distribution. If the trend slope was greater than 0.5, they would buy or hold. If the trend slope was less than 0.5, they would sell or keep cash. And here was the outcome. So the whale strategy returned 46%. So all that data and all the analytics, that's what they got. But if they just held on to it and did absolutely nothing, they went up 61%. So again, you don't have to trade to make money. Let me say that again. You do not have to trade to make money. Just be an investor. Sit back, throw away your ledger in a, not only cold storage, but in a safe, and just don't touch it for a year or two. And guess what happens? Usually things do pretty well. Now, not in every year, but if you just wait a little bit longer, things will be good. That's what I'm trying to do. Seems to work out okay. All right, so that's what's going on with the other sentiment. This is what's going on with the current edition. So over 50 new whales have entered the market. 50. Currently, there is no specific amount of the total number, which is increasing by the second. Approximately 70 new whales have been welcomed into the ETH market within a space of 3 days. These whales are known for holding and investing large amounts. All incoming whales are holding 1,000. It says here $1,000 to 10,000 Ethereum. I was like, wait, am I a whale? Ah, man, this is awesome. I'm a whale. Didn't even know it. Because it says 1,000, 10,000, I was like, oh, that doesn't make any sense. So I took a look at the actual tweet, and it's not $1,000 to $10,000. They just got a little bit ahead of themselves. And it says roughly 68 new whales holding 1,000 to 10,000 Ethereum have joined the network. So not a dollar amount, but 1,000 Ethereum. So that's a lot of. It's over $400,000. We'll say that. Well, actually, no, it's about 350,000 because it's 1,000. So off you go. The big thing is this, and this is what's important to look at. What is smart money doing? Because if you have, I don't know, $500,000 to just throw around, you're not going to just be stupid with your money. Not every whale is a smart whale. Let's be honest. There's always the idiot in the crowd. But if you got a lot of people coming in there, a lot of smart money coming in, it's a good chance that you are in the right category and headed in the right direction, potentially. Let me know what you think in the comment section. That's just how I see it. Anyhow, lastly, it states, most investors have repeatedly advised that a bear market is the best time to invest in crypto like Bitcoin and Ethereum, mainly because a bull run is always expected to precede a bear market, although it sometimes takes longer than expected. So that's interesting. Bear, bull market, bear, bull market. It's tough to look at the prices like right now and go, you know what? This is a fantastic time to get in because everything's down. But if you're new to this, this is how I see it. When I look at these red, I'm like, man, look at all these sales. This is crazy. Chainlink is down 1%, Polkadot 2%. That's insane. 13% down for Bitcoin. It's just like going to an auction or any kind of flea market. You're like, wow, it's so cheap. Why don't I just pick that up? Because it's still a good product. Nothing really changed. The fundamentals didn't change. Bitcoin didn't change. Bitcoin didn't get hacked. Ethereum didn't get hacked. XRP, Chainlink. They're all the same thing. They're all the same project. It's just that, weak hands get a little bit shaky. So guess what? I'm going to pick those up. And that's the way to look at things. That's just how I see it anyhow. And lastly, it says, meanwhile, for the day-to-day trader, ETH's trading price isn't the most encouraging and profitable. So again, you do not have to be a trader. If you want to trade on the side, that's cool. I mean, go ahead and trade, have fun. I mean, that's what a lot of people do. I just don't have time for that. And I just want to put my money in and then wait, and then that's it. I mean, it's the same thing I do with land. I purchase land. I don't really look at it. I don't look at it from day to day. I look at it 6 months to 2 years out and just see what the price is. And when the price goes up, I'm like, hey, good deal. All I had to do was just sit on it, do nothing. That's it. So let me know what you think in the comments section. Let's move on. Next up, traditional market stuff. UK digital bank ZIGLU launches peer-to-peer payments for Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. So London-based bank ZIGLU, I think I said that right, said it has been licensed on an electronic money institution, or EMI, by the UK's Financial Conduct Authority. After receiving the permit, the fintech startup immediately launched peer-to-peer payments for both crypto and fiat. The digital bank supports the British pound and Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, and Litecoin. I was like, why is Litecoin supported? What is so great about Litecoin? And maybe I'm missing the boat on Litecoin. Tell me if I'm wrong, because like Ethereum, the transaction fees are like outrageous. Bitcoin, when it all went up, the same type of thing. Bitcoin Cash is there. I mean, I had Roger on yesterday. He talks about how great it is. I don't know. And then Litecoin, maybe it's just because it's just so easy to use. The transaction fees aren't there. You can use some type of privacy. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing the boat on this. I used to own Litecoin. I sold it before, but here we are. Anyhow, this means users of the ZIGLU app can now make payments peer-to-peer over the network or to other banks within the UK using the supported coin. So if you want to have something that is like fast and easy and has low transaction fees, maybe Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash are one of those things you can actually use. This was launched in June. ZIGLU raised $5 million in seed funding. Let me say that again. This was launched in June. What are we in, September? 3 months. 3 months, and this is where they're at. The company says total digital assets are insured against cyber attacks up to the value of £50,000 or $66,000 with commission fees of 1.25% on all trading activities. So that's pretty cool. Just like we have in the States, the FDIC insurance is up to $250,000, and the banks for your digital assets, you're insure up to £50,000. That's fantastic. That's how it should be done. The commission fees, 1.25%. What are you going to do? I mean, there's a lot of different places where you can get it cheaper. But if you want to take a look at that, I have an exchange fees and wallet information spreadsheet. It goes everything from, Coinbase I used to use a lot. I don't use it anymore. I have a 1-2 punch of Celsius and Voyager, but I also do a lot of things with Kraken and Gemini, and I go over all the different wallets that are out there, such as like Uphold and the Aber app, and I go over the SimpleSwap, Uniswap, Kraken, and just what I've gone through with them, and if I recommend or not recommend. I do not recommend eToro, just letting you guys know right now. And then it just goes over the interest rates if you're going to deposit. Celsius has some great interest rates, so does Voyager, and all the different fees that they have. So go ahead and check that out. Also on top, if you want to sign up, there's affiliate links. You don't have to use them. You can go right to Voyager. You can go right to Gemini and just sign up. But if you use the links, it gives you between $10 and $25, so your choice. Anyhow, if you want to find that, it's in the description of every one of my videos. It looks just like this, so go ahead and check that out at your leisure. All right, let's break back in that story. Okay, moving down to finish this up. The ZIGLU app user numbers currently range in the low thousands, but the CEO says I'm aiming for 100 million customers over the next 6 or 7 years. And I gotta tell you, I think that he is right on track. I mean, if you got a bank that gives you the option, which they all should do, of fiat currency and also cryptocurrency, that's what the world's going to run on. So why wouldn't you do that? Here's a prime example. I was trying to pay my niece from my bank with Venmo, and my bank for some reason stopped the transaction. They just refused it, and Venmo froze my account for 72 hours. Well, my niece had to get paid. So what do? Go to exchange, pick up some XRP, and I send it over, and it's there like that. And then she can do whatever she wants with it. So in these situations, like, this is fantastic. We can use fiat money. We can use cryptocurrency. It's at our disposal and whatever we want to use. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. So if you don't remember, back in July, the office of the OCC with Brian Brooks, he's the head of that department, who was also the head of the legal department for Coinbase, they gave the option or the ability for banks to custody cryptocurrency. This is actually a great article written by Alex Mascioli, and he pretty much just said, look, the banks, they are going to have this option, and they're not going to do it because they are not at the forefront of innovation, because Banks suck. Basically, that's what it came down to. I mean, the banks suck, that was my wording. But look, I mean, if you got something like this going on and the banks are like, hold on, wait, there's this other bank and they're doing all the fiat that we do, but they're also doing cryptocurrencies, which is what we could actually do as far as custody go, and then people are flocking over there, well, the free market's gonna state, hey, like me and you will probably go to those types of banks. And as time moves on, people will go more to those banks. And I believe that banks will look across the ponds or just across the street and go, you know what? They're doing something we're not doing. We should probably do that. And the reason why they're going to actually catch up to themselves is because no one wants to be Blockbuster. Nobody wants to be that old technology that's sitting at the end of the street that everybody is passing by in the ghost town as they all go to Netflix. Just my theory. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Let's move on. You know what? This is taking way longer than I thought. The last two articles where we talk about the track record about Bitcoin going to 120,000 from Dave the Wave, and also the article about Binance joins DeFi craze, I'm going to do in a separate video, and I'm going to do it as a live premiere so we can all talk about it, especially this one. This one, again, I feel guilty for even talking about it, but it has to be talked about. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to jump into Q of the day, and then we'll finish up. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the office for Q of the day. So today's question comes to us from Randy, and it's a pretty good question that I think everybody's going to have to deal with when we pass on. How is this going to affect us as far as our cryptocurrency digital assets, and how do we leave it to our family members? But before we get into that, just to make sure, I've got a couple of comments about my beautiful green screen that I have for my office. This is not a green screen. Watch this. This is I'm not a good thrower, but all right. So I'm not a magician, so not a green screen. This is actually my office. And people think, oh, it's so awesome to have a pool in your office. No, it's not. I'm going to tell you why. First of all, you have to do a lot of maintenance. And second of all, it's hot. Because I'm in El Paso, Texas, and if you haven't realized that, some days it gets to be like 106, 110. So I'm out here in this area, non-air conditioned. So don't think this is like the most fantastic setup of all time. It's not. Just that my wife kicks me out of the house, and this is semi-detached, and she goes, go to the pool room and do your stuff. So that is what it all is. So don't think this is anything fantastic, because it's not. All right, so the question then is, this is from Randy. He says, I'd like to know how to ensure that my daughter has access to my digital assets should I get hit by a bus, which you never know. I mean, that could happen tomorrow. I mean, hit by a bus, just keel over, heart attacks, anything that could happen, right? Who knows? Unlike a traditional bank account, I can't make her a beneficiary, which is true. How would I specify this in a will or a trust? Maybe you could do a segment on that topic. I think it's something we should all be thinking about. And these are things that we don't think about until a family member this actually happens too. I mean, if I pass away, then I have instructions for my wife and how she's going to get all the cryptocurrency digital assets off the ledger. But in certain families, this might be more of an issue. I mean, if you think about it, if you have a large family and you just kind of verbally tell your spouse, like, hey, or one of your kids, hey, this is where all the money's at. Let me tell you, I've been involved in these situations where money makes families go crazy. So it's super important that you have some kind of written instruction before you pass away, because if not, it all has to come down to the generosity of people. It usually, not all the time, but it usually kind of de-evolves into something very ugly, and I think we don't want that for any of our family members. So what we have done is we have created a trust, and we can only do that with a lawyer. So usually, what usually happens is go to a lawyer and then, put out all the information that you want and have it specified line by line. So that is one way to do things. Another way is if it's just a very small family, like Randy here just wants his daughter to have everything. So the best way that I said to him was, well, first of all, if you have it on a ledger, you just put it in your instructions in your will that my daughter gets the ledger and she can open it up. And you can even put instructions there, or you can try to teach your daughter or your significant other how to actually get those and transfer them into your accounts. Another thing is that if you have a Celsius wallet, they have they're going to be adding something into their actual wallet where you can put the information of a beneficiary, which is pretty great if you think about it. So all you would need is that letter or some type of will and a death certificate. that states who gets what, and it'll go to that person. I don't know the specific details, but thankfully, Alex Mashinsky, the CEO from Celsius, will be on the show tomorrow to answer that question and a bunch of other ones that I have about Celsius. Some things that I've just seen that have gone on, or questions that you have sent to me. So these are just two things that I think will help. But the big thing is just make sure that when you're doing all this type of work, you specify who gets what. It's not like this goes to my family and then let them figure it out, because I'm going to tell you right now, it'll get ugly. So that is, hopefully that answers Randy's question. Now, another thing is that I see with what's going to happen in the future. This is like the same thing with the internet days. Nobody realized when the internet came about that we would need somebody to make a specific website for marketing, or a specific website for sales, or to have somebody who would do search engine optimization, or would do Facebook ads or something like that. I mean, we just didn't know that when the internet came about. So I've gotten this question many a time. One is from Randy, one was from Droplet. I got this question twice before from two other people about what's going to happen when I pass away, and how does this go into my family, because my lawyer has no idea what the hell I'm talking about. And my family, when I try to talk about cryptocurrency, they just call me a kook, because it's digital assets, right? So I see it like this. I see this actually to be a service that could be done in the future by a group, or by a person, or by a group of people who would transition your digital assets from one person to another. It could go like that. Some people will say, well, that's not the whole point of cryptocurrency. It's because you are your own bank, and you should have your access, your keys to everything that's out there, which is true. However, that is what you are doing. Your family right now, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm going to guarantee that your entire family is not 100% on board with digital assets and cryptocurrencies. They probably look at you like you're a kook sometimes, or just kind of crazy. So if this is the case, I think maybe down the road, this could actually be a service. Like someone would go in there and be like, okay, I know how to work all these different wallets and all these different cold storage or hot storage or whatever else. Here's the paperwork that we need. Here's the forms that we have to have. Just something I see as maybe a potential thing in the future. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comment section, but hopefully that answers the question, and let's jump back. All right, that's it. So I hope that answers some question. It's one of those topics that nobody wants to talk about, but we have to talk about. Death and cryptocurrency. That's just how it is. Before we take off, I just wanted to ask for a favor. I don't usually ask for likes. I don't ask for subscribers. That's just not what I do. But I have another channel. It's called Digital Asset News Clips. And just like today, how there was a lot of information, I just break it down by clips. Not everybody has the opportunity to listen for 30 minutes, 40 minutes to me ramble on about different topics. So I break it up into different sections. Not only that, is I want to do this because you never know when YouTube is going to pull the plug on your channel. This has happened to numerous cryptocurrency digital asset channels, and it will continue to keep happening, especially as time goes on. So I just need to make sure that there's a backup. So what I was going to ask you to do, in the description of every one of my videos, the second channel link is there. It's going to look like this. If you'd be so kind, just head on over there and subscribe. All the different things that we talk about are going to be in clips there, and I'm also going to do one bonus clip for this channel, specifically for that channel, that will not be on the regular digital asset news. So just want to have two just as a backup, and I want to make it easier for you because time is money. And like I said, not everybody's got all the time in the world to listen to me ramble, so maybe just want to listen to just a specific clip, and that's it. That's why I created that video, and the channel to boot. All right, so thanks so much for sticking with me. Really appreciate it. If you like these types of videos, there's going to be 2 more that's going to pop up on your left and right. Not sure what it is because YouTube controls all that. Just like they may have controlled the cruddy ad that you saw, which may have been a scam. I have no control over those, just so you know. So if you want to talk to YouTube about it, they'd love to hear from you. So check them out. Anyhow, that's it for today. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next one.